Officer Jack Harlan gripped the steering wheel of his patrol car, his knuckles white under the dim streetlights of downtown Atlanta. It was a humid Friday night in July, and Jack was itching for action. He'd been on the force for 15 years, a burly guy from the suburbs with a chip on his shoulder bigger than Georgia. Lately, he'd been racking up complaints, mostly from folks in the poorer neighborhoods, but nothing stuck. Tonight, he spotted a sleek black Mercedes weaving slightly on Peachtree Street. "Gotcha," he muttered, flipping on his lights. The driver pulled over smoothly, and Jack approached with his hand on his holster. The window rolled down, revealing a poised black woman in her late 40s, dressed in a sharp blazer. She was Judge Eleanor Thompson, one of the most respected circuit court judges in Fulton County. Eleanor had just left a late-night charity event, exhausted but composed. "Evening, officer. Is there a problem?" she asked calmly. Jack's eyes narrowed. He didn't like her tone. Too confident, too articulate. "License and registration," he barked. As she reached for her glove compartment, he yanked the door open. "Step out of the car," he shouted. Eleanor complied but questioned, "What's this about?" "I wasn't speeding. That set him off." In a flash, Jack grabbed her arm, twisting it behind her back. "Resisting, huh?" he growled. Eleanor gasped. "I'm not resisting. I'm a judge." But Jack wasn't listening. Rage boiled over from years of feeling undervalued, and he slammed her against the car. His arm wrapped around her neck in a chokehold, cutting off her air. She clawed at his forearm, vision blurring, heart pounding. "Please stop," she wheezed. Bystanders started filming on their phones, yelling for him to let go. After what felt like eternity, maybe 20 seconds, Jack released her, shoving her to the ground. Eleanor coughed, tears streaming down her face, her throat burning. He cuffed her roughly, claiming she assaulted him first. As backup arrived, Eleanor whispered to herself, "This isn't over." Little did Jack know, this impulsive act would unravel his life. The video went viral overnight, sparking outrage across the city. Eleanor, humiliated but unbroken, vowed silent revenge. She spent the night in a holding cell, her mind racing with plans. By morning, her lawyer had her out, but the emotional scar ran deep. Jack, smug in his report, thought he'd won another round. Eleanor Thompson sat in her spacious home office the next morning, staring at the bruise blooming around her neck like a cruel necklace. The mirror didn't lie. Purple fingerprints marked where Jack Harlan's rage had pressed in. She was 48, a widow raising 2 teenage daughters, and had clawed her way up from a tough upbringing in Detroit to become a judge. Her robe symbolized justice, but last night it felt like a joke. "How could this happen to me?" she murmured, sipping tea to soothe her raw throat. Her phone buzzed endlessly. Reporters, friends, even the mayor. The viral video had exploded on social media. Hashtags like #JusticeForJudge trending. Eleanor's daughters, Maya and Zoe, hugged her tight, tears in their eyes. "Mom, that cop's a monster," Maya said, her voice shaking. Eleanor nodded, but inside, anger simmered with fear. She'd seen too many cases like this in court. Black folks targeted, systems failing. Now, it was personal. She filed a formal complaint with Internal Affairs, detailing every second. But doubt crept in. Cops protected their own. Jack, meanwhile, was suspended with pay, lounging at his bachelor pad in the suburbs. He laughed it off with buddies over beers. "She had an attitude, man. Deserved it," he bragged, ignoring the growing backlash. His ex-wife, Sarah, called him out. "Jack, You're gonna regret this." He hung up, unfazed. Elena sought therapy, but nightmares haunted her, choking, helpless. She threw herself into work, presiding over cases with renewed fire. One involved police misconduct. She ruled fairly, but sternly, earning whispers of bias. Deep down, revenge brewed. She researched Jack's record, multiple excessive force complaints, all dismissed. Pattern, she noted. Months passed. Elena healed physically, but emotionally, scarred. She mentored young black lawyers, channeling pain into purpose. Jack, reinstated after a slap on the wrist investigation, patrolled again, bolder. He pulled over a young black man, repeating old habits. But Elena? She waited. Fate twisted when Jack got arrested for a bar fight, assault charges. His case landed in her court. Karma, she thought, heart racing. As the date approached, Elena prepared meticulously, ensuring impartiality on paper. But inside, emotions swirled. Hurt, vindication. Jack, oblivious, prepped his defense, thinking it'd be a breeze. Little did he know, facing her would be his undoing. Jack Harlan paced his cramped apartment, the air thick with stale coffee and regret. 6 months after the incident, his life was crumbling. The suspension had ended, but the stink of the viral video clung like smoke. Protests outside the precinct chanted his name, not in praise. Harlan must go, signs read. His chief demoted him to desk duty, muttering about bad PR. Jack fumed. It's that judge's fault. Uppity bitch. He scrolled through hate mail on his phone. Anonymous threats, calls for his badge. His buddies distanced themselves. Even his brother, a fellow cop in Chicago, said, "You crossed the line, bro." Jack drowned sorrows at dive bars, picking fights. One night, he slugged a guy over a spilled drink, landing assault charges. Self-defense, he claimed, but witnesses disagreed. Enter his lawyer, a slick guy named Mike Donovan, who promised a quick dismissal. "We'll get a sympathetic judge," Mike assured. Jack nodded, but anxiety gnawed. He dreamed of Elena's face, her eyes accusing. "Nah, can't be her," he told himself. But fate laughed. The case assignment came. Judge Elena Thompson presiding. Panic hit. Jack called Mike frantic. "It's her!" Conflict of interest. Mike filed a motion for recusal, but Elena denied it coolly. No personal bias. Justice is blind. Jack stewed, replaying the traffic stop. He choked her out of spite, frustrated by a divorce, mounting debts, and feeling emasculated by woke policies. Now, payback loomed. Elena, in her chambers, reviewed the file. Objectivity demanded, but memories flooded. The choke holds terror, the humiliation. She confided in her best friend Carla, a prosecutor. "I won't let emotion rule, but damn, it feels poetic." Carla warned Fatal, "Stay professional, girl." Elena agreed, but her resolve hardened. Jack's trial prep revealed more dirt. Body cam footage from past stops showed aggression toward minorities. His defense? Stress from the job, but public opinion turned. Op-eds called him a symbol of systemic rot. His ex, Sarah, testified against him in a custody hearing, citing his temper. "He's dangerous," she said. As court day neared, Jack lost weight, sleep evading him. Elena meditated, channeling calm. The city buzzed. Would she throw the book or show mercy? Jack arrived early, suit ill-fitting, palms sweaty. Spotting Elena on the bench, his stomach dropped. "Your Honor," he croaked. She met his gaze evenly, emotions masked. The gavel fell, and the real reckoning began. The Fulton County Courthouse buzzed with tension as Jack Harlan entered Courtroom 5A. Reporters crammed the gallery, cameras flashing outside. Jack, in a cheap navy suit, avoided eyes, his lawyer Mike at his side. Across the room, the prosecution table sat stern, but all focus was on the bench. Judge Eleanor Thompson, robed in black, her expression granite. "All rise," the bailiff intoned. Eleanor entered, nodding curtly. Jack's heart hammered. There she was, the woman he choked, now holding his fate. "Be seated," she said, voice steady. Proceedings began with openings. Prosecution painted Jack as a hothead with a pattern. Defense claimed isolated incidents from job pressure. Witnesses took the stand. First, the bar fight victim, a burly mechanic named Tom Riley. "He came at me unprovoked," Tom testified, showing faded bruises. Jack shifted uncomfortably. Then, Sarah, his ex, detailed years of volatility. "He's got anger issues," she said, glancing at Eleanor sympathetically. Mike cross-examined fiercely, but Eleanor sustained objections sharply. "Stick to facts, counsel." Jack whispered to Mike, "She's gunning for me." Mike shushed him. The body cam compilation played. Grainy clips of Jack roughing up suspects, including Eleanor's stop. Gasps rippled. Eleanor watched him passively, but inside, flashbacks hit, the choke, the fear. Jack testified last. "I regret my actions," he mumbled, avoiding her gaze. "The job, it breaks you." Eleanor leaned forward. "Officer Harlan, look at me." He did, eyes wide. "You say regret, but your record shows otherwise. Explain the pattern," Jack stammered. "Stress, Your Honor. I never meant—" Cross-exam erupted. The prosecutor grilled him. "You choked a judge. Meant that?" Jack flushed. "It was a mistake." Eleanor intervened only when needed, but her rulings favored evidence. Closing arguments wrapped. Prosecution demanded jail time. Defense pled probation. Eleanor recessed for deliberation. In chambers she paced, weighing scales. Justice demanded fairness, but emotion tugged. His choke had stolen her peace. "No vengeance," she reminded herself. Back on bench, she addressed Jack. "Stand." He rose trembling. "Your actions reflect a deeper issue, but the law is clear." The room held breath. Guilty of assault, sentence. 2 years probation, anger management, community service in underserved areas. Murmurs erupted. Jack exhaled relieved. No jail, but Elena added, "and mandatory bias training. Fail any, and it's prison." His face fell. It wasn't Max, but the sting? Personal. As he left, Eleanor felt closure budding. In the weeks after sentencing, Jack Harlan's world shifted gears he never saw coming. Probation kicked in hard. Weekly check-ins, therapy sessions where he confronted his rage. "Why'd you choke her?" the counselor probed. Jack muttered about frustration, but slowly, truths emerged. Childhood bullying, failed marriage, racial biases he'd ignored. Community service hit hardest. Volunteering at an Atlanta youth center in black neighborhoods. Kids eyed him warily at first. "You're that cop," one teen said. Jack nodded, ashamed. Over time, he mentored, sharing stories, earning tentative trust. Elena Thompson watched from afar. Via updates from the center's director, a friend, she didn't gloat. Instead, relief washed over her. The case boosted her profile. Interviews on CNN, a book deal on systemic reform. "It's not about revenge," she told Oprah in a special. "It's accountability." Her daughters beamed with pride. Maya pursued law school, inspired, but karma wasn't done. Jack's department fired him after an internal review, citing the trial's revelations. Jobless, he moved to a small town in rural Georgia, scraping by as a security guard. One night, he pulled over to help a stranded driver, a black family. No aggression, just aid. "Thanks, man," the father said. Jack smiled faintly. Change? Eleanor thrived, elected to a higher court. At a gala, she met Jack unexpectedly. He was security, their eyes locked. Judge, he said softly, I'm sorry, truly. Eleanor paused, emotions surging. Forgiveness, not fully, but growth acknowledged. Prove it every day, she replied. He nodded, humbled. Years later, Jack spoke at reform panels, admitting faults. I was the problem, he'd say. Eleanor's story became legend, inspiring policies against police brutality. Her throat scar faded, but the lesson endured. Power unchecked breeds monsters, but justice heals. In the end, revenge wasn't Eleanor's chokeback. It was Jack's transformation, forced by her grace under fire. Atlanta changed subtly. Fewer complaints, more dialogue. Eleanor retired honored, grandkids on her lap, telling tales of karma. Jack? He found peace in anonymity, volunteering full-time. She saved me from myself, he'd reflect. The cycle broke, emotions mended. True karma, not destruction, but redemption through reckoning. Thank you so much for watching this story till the end. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe even learned something from it. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, full of life lessons, drama, and emotions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss an update. Your support means the world, and it helps me keep bringing you more inspiring and unforgettable stories. Stay tuned because more amazing stories are on the way.